Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy. I recently read the book of poems, Heart for Sale 70% Off by Melissa Ann Smith. When I read this book, I knew immediately that I wanted to share it with you all, but I just didn't feel like I could do the book justice. So I asked the author if she would grant me an interview, and she agreed, which I'm so grateful for. Here is my conversation with author Melissa Ann Smith about her book of poems, Heart for Sale 70% Off. I hope you enjoy it.
Hello, my name is Melissa Smith. I'm a native Nashvilleian. I'm an artist. I'm an activist. I'm a dancer, poet, author, and I went to HBCU, TSU. So Heart for Sale 70% Off is about rejection and my experience with rejection, and also just the Black female, how we process certain emotions. And it may not be for all Black women, but I definitely have shared experiences with friends or family, and they've kind of gone through the same process. But it's mainly biographical, so it's from my perspective. But it's also about being a Black woman in America, dealing with racism, dealing with sexism, all of that patriarchal oppression. And so I wanted to share that as well. Oh, my favorite. I definitely like the title. Heart for Sale 7% Off. Chemical Imbalance was one of my favorite pieces that I wrote a long time ago. And then Sundown. Tiny Poem is another one. I'm sorry. Sundown and Tiny Poem kind of go together. So they kind of tell the full story of the biggest rejection that I had to get over.
Okay.
The hardest one would probably be Midnight, and then Time Heals All Wounds through Jesus Christ, Amen. Because both of those are dealing with trauma, specifically sexual trauma, and how you could be triggered from certain things, unexpected things. Midnight, I was watching, and there's several triggers there because you've got, Black women in slavery, but then also being sexually abused. So 12 Years of a Slave is what I was watching. And so that made me emotional, but then I started to think of the person that I loved who rejected me. And so that all intertwined. So that's the story behind that. And then Time Heals All Wounds with Jesus Christ, Amen. I had come across an article of a young Black lady who had been, molested or raped, and she ended up taking her life. So it's just being triggered from that, because I have been a victim of sexual trauma and having to go through all of that whole process of healing. First of all, discovering that you are even a victim. The statistics are crazy. 1 in every 4 women have been Black women especially, have been sexually abused or raped. And so, and just reading how she had gotten to a place where she had no hope. She felt like she needed to take her life. And, I've definitely been in that place before where I felt like so desperate and in despair, and I just felt like I just wanted to go to sleep. So yeah, this poem was just like an acknowledgement of her and other Black women who've been through that same experience, and how they're not forgotten, and how it could have been me. So I'm thanking God for her, and thanking God for me, that He kept me, and that I'm praying for all women in that same situation. Well, I mainly wrote this book as therapy, and also just to make the world aware of what the Black woman goes through, because we are so often expected to be strong, and we are, but to carry the burdens of the world and just with a smile and like, you know, I mean, we are superheroes. It's just like, but we're also human and we're also often forgotten. And so especially in the Black community, we don't talk about rejection, we don't talk about depression, we don't talk about sexual abuse, you know. So these are topics that Black women experience every day, and we are, you know, going through that experience oftentimes alone. So I just wanted to shed light on that, and you know, to do my actual follow-up to this book is called PTSD, and so that will be my next book of poems. And then I'm working on 2 projects. One is a science fiction novel and the other one is a romance novel. So I'm looking forward to getting those put out and eventually turned into movies. That is the vision. I see them in screenplays and then being on the big Cinemax screen. So yeah. You can find me everywhere at Melissa Pins It Down on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's It Pins. And you can find my book on Amazon.com. I have the hardback, and Kindle. And you can find my book also on my website, melissapinsitdown.com.